initiated this roundtable series last year when recognizing that on the typical public conferences, experts get together on panels just to raise questions, but do not really have the time to discuss and deliver answers. So this was initiated to actually facilitate expert discussions alongside larger conferences. By engaging in an open discussion under Chatham House rules, the participants can actually contribute to finding solutions to open issues and thereby increasing the legal certainty in the crypto space. Further, this setup also fosters the creation of trust amongst the participants, which should enable them to communicate more freely and easily in the future. So I think the whole setup really contributes to moving the space forward.
These are not education sessions, these are like experts roundtable, right? So we have the people that already understand MiCAR, that already knows what is going on, already identify the challenges, and they are coming together to discuss. Today we have many hot topics. I think that NFTs is one of them. There is also some topics connected to privacy, and we have seen also, we saw this in London, there is a big debate between e-money and e-money tokens. We will have also some follow-up. So the idea of the different roundtables is that each of them builds in what was discussed already. So all the speakers and participants receive their report of the previous roundtable, so they can also see what was discussed before and how they can build on the topics that were discussed.
This conversation space is really important and crucial, since the MiCAR regulation is a broad regulation and this has to be filled with more content interpretation. So people have to come together and think about, okay, what does this regulation actually means in its implications, and to find new ways of interpretations for this regulation.
On the one hand side, it was very interesting for me to see that a lot of the questions that we are discussing seem novel from an individual perspective, but that in other fields of law, in other regulations, we have similar issues experienced in the past, which of course gives us some guidance how to address these problems. On the other hand, of course, as we have a novel field here, there are interesting new aspects, and for me it's very interesting to see that, given the participation here comes from a number of different countries, that these perspectives are very similar across Europe. And that's a very good indication to see that actually a number of points are really very important, because everyone seems to see them from their perspective. A good event, in my opinion, is an event where you start the event with a couple of questions and actually you leave the event with even more questions, because that means that you have done a good job, you have discussed, you have clarified, but you have also your homework to take away in order to take a concrete next step. And there my impression is that we are here on a good way.
I think it's quite important for us to first see sometimes problems where we didn't think there were problems, and by problems I mean different opinions and different point of views, which is also great because knowing different problems, we can then think of better solutions or new solutions or just new points of view, and then based on that start having a more unified kind of way of thinking, or at least also knowing what to expect, not just from regulators, but for also the market, products, and different aspects, since we have people with a broad background. So far, for me, the biggest lesson was we all interpret the MiCA itself, so not just MiCA, but regulations in a different way, and that wording can be quite malleable. And then knowing what different people are interpreting of, you can also better prepare not just yourself, but the product to the market, to the risks, and then be able to assess better what downfalls or what it can come from those. So it's a better risk assessment, let's say like that.
I think it's really important to get different people's perspectives from within the industry, but also to provide a channel of communication with the regulators so that we can provide feedback, concerns, raise points of clarification to better understand what the obligations are going to be and what the expectations are going to be for businesses operating in this space as we move into a new regulated environment. It's refreshing to hear from members of the European Commission that they're aware of these matters, that they're looking at it, and that they want to engage actively with groups operating in this space to try and accommodate them in a way that achieves those overall policy objectives.
So we started last month in London, today is Berlin, next month will be Vienna, and then we will move on during the rest of the year throughout whole Europe. And we warmly invite everybody who is an expert on MiCAR topics to step up and reach out to either one of us and to propose topics, and we will gladly see how we can include you to the upcoming roundtable versions.
Everyone should participate and read some of the reports, because we bring people from such different backgrounds. They are experts in so many different areas.
I very much encourage others to get involved, to advance the policy objectives and make sure that we create a suitable environment that allows everyone in this industry to flourish.
Ideally, we can get like all the experts into one of the roundtables, but if they are not part of the roundtables, they can always read the report, send an email, and also provide feedback.
So reach out to us, and looking forward to see you at the next roundtable.